Think we're good.
Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 442, the number one live podcast in Canada, recorded February 10th, 2025.
We need your help to support the Canadian Patriot Podcast. Become a Patreon for just $1 per episode. You can get a better quality version of the show. And show you're not a communist and support the podcast by buying a CPP t-shirt. You can find that at www.canadianpatriotpodcast.com. Follow the link on the right.
Awesome. Brings us to our favorite segment of the show, What Are You Drinking? And something you did off the Patriot Challenge. Pierre, what are you drinking?
As per usual, Canadian whiskey. Mostly because I don't drink American, but also all the bullshit with that. Drinking the waters. Audible books again, podcasts, trying to do that. Uh, Getting a few chores done around the house, try and start going for the nightly walks as a family, not just
Nice.
little things or whatever. But yeah, take the doggos out a little bit more and everything. So gonna work on that. Hopefully we can get to that this week. Well, we'll see with all the fucking snow coming in the next few days. Maybe we should have done that tonight.
That's all right.
Yeah. What about you?
I am being a little lame this evening, and I just have a non-alcoholic grape Gatorade. I got a bunch of work things I got to get to in the morning, so don't want to chance
Deal with
not
them.
being at 100%.
I get
Um,
that.
yeah, Patriot Challenge stuff. Obviously, not drinking alcohol, drinking all the water with the extra electrolytes in it because I kind of need them today. It's feeling a little off, but
Yeah.
doing that, still doing my reading, still working my way through that Fauci book because man, is it long, but man, is it ever infuriating.
That's what I've
Uh,
heard.
yeah, like
Like I kind
oh,
of want to read it, but at the same time, I have a feeling I wouldn't be able to
the
read it.
the book is a lot shorter than the audio book because like he keeps adding to the audio book as more and more stuff comes out.
Yeah, so there's like
Um,
60 chapters in the Audible and only
yeah,
like 20
yeah,
in the book.
yeah, kind of a thing. So like,
Yeah.
it is a little shorter. So if you do want to tackle it, but you don't necessarily want to get like, you know, way down the rabbit hole, yeah, you can just do that one. You can get it off the Amazon for pretty cheap. And then you have a physical copy of it so that, it
You
doesn't
can beat them
change.
with it. You can
Well,
beat
and
them
like
with it
it
when you
doesn't get
fucking meet them.
deleted from existence, right? Like you still have a physical copy because, that's something to be worried about these years. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they compensate me for the purchase of the book.
Yeah.
If I did the Audible thing for 20 bucks, 10 bucks, $6, doesn't matter. If you're going to take that away, compensate me back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just what if just Audible just doesn't exist no more, right?
Yep. Then,
But yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, great book, but yeah, it is just absolutely infuriating. Like hearing about how like drugs that were like on the like the list of like essential medications, especially in third world countries, now all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, there's a study that it kills people maybe or something. So yeah, you can't just buy it over the counter. I mean, as the one hydroxychloroquine there, the HCl or whatever that they were telling people to take.
Yeah.
Apparently, like
And
people
then
in
not
Africa and
taken.
stuff like that have literally been taking it for decades, like one tablet a week for decades with zero negative side effects. But now all of a sudden they're like, it's poison. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. That's not necessarily particularly Canadian, although we were one of the countries that had it listed, as a thing that people could take for whatever. And then now we're like, nope, you can only take it for these two or three things, and that is it. So yeah, F
Yeah.
those guys. Upcoming events. Um, we don't have anything listed at the moment, but I know that the Versailles Remote Military March is coming up. Resul 4-day march is coming up. The Army Run has started listing its things again. It'll be in September like it always is. But if you want to get in on that, you can sign up now and save yourself a few dollars. And the price keeps sliding upwards as you get closer to the date. So, do that. Feedback at CanadianPatriotPodcast.com, or you can visit the show notes and stuff like that. Tell us, what you want to talk about, or maybe tell us that you want to come on the show and promote your book or whatever it is that you do or something. I don't know. We'll do it. We're easy like that. On to the news, and apologies, I haven't had a whole lot of time to read these today. So, we'll just stumble through them together.
Sounds good.
I thought we were done with the tariffs and stuff, but apparently we're not.
Yeah.
So apparently Big Daddy Trump, the Orange Man himself, is saying that he's going to hit us with a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum.
Yep.
So I don't know. I guess we were working together, but then, we're not. But yeah, as a result of this, Jagmeet says that he's gonna put 100% tariff on Tesla imports.
Yeah, for someone that's pushing the green agenda so much, you'd think you'd take one of the only vehicles
Yeah,
and not put 100% tariff on it, where the thing is already a little pricey. You're pretty much gonna double the price and then some, because no company is gonna just keep the profit margins what they are now and just, oh, they
yeah,
tacked on another 50 to charge you 50. They're gonna tack you double the everything,
yeah.
because that'll probably qualify for parts. And all the
Oh
parts
yeah,
of everybody that already own Teslas, they need to get
yeah.
anything imported for that. It's probably going to be
Absolutely,
affected by that.
absolutely it will. But don't worry, guys. Mark Carney, who is absolutely nobody to us at the moment, has tweeted, or X. Do you call it X now, or is it still tweeting? I don't know. Anyways,
I still call it tweeted. I've never
yeah,
used it. But
yeah. He said, Trump wants us to lose our cool, but we need to stay united with the right response. How about fuck that guy? Um,
yeah,
like I'm all for, as I've said before, like Canada does need to become united because we've been divided for so long over so
yep.
much. But I think we're coming together for the wrong reasons at this point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
again, we shouldn't be bad at as the Orange Man or, Elon or the United States or any of that. We should be mad at our politicians, the ones that are responsible for the mess that we are in. That's who we should be
Yeah,
uniting against, is
yeah,
our own politicians.
yeah. And I mean, like Trump wants to do the tariffs. And I'm like, look, he's looking out for his country. Get production back, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we get that, because we should be doing the same. We don't,
Yeah.
but we should. So it's like, okay, well, let's have a adult conversation, just being like, okay, well, we can negotiate on stuff, and you need to negotiate on stuff. But I'm like, we're gonna come to an agreement that, hey, we're imposing tariffs on certain produce or products that you're gonna ship here, and vice versa. But these are essential
Yeah.
and for everything. So let's work something out, or let's bump these down, take these away, bump this up, like whatever. Because I mean, even if the aluminum tariff goes through, like, even though the aluminum is produced here, it's still going to
Yeah.
affect everything here, because they're not going to rely 100% on the exports.
Well, no, that and like we ship it to the States, it gets built into things and comes back to us. So like we're gonna end up paying one
Yeah,
way or another. Like this is
right.
yeah.
They're going to split that cost on the tariffs, and as well as the product that we
Well,
keep here, they're going to bump that up to offset the cost of the tariffs until, like, on the offspring.
yeah.
So I'm like, all in all, it's just going to cost us more. It's
Yeah, and so again, who's
too much of a
responsible for
blow.
that? Stupid politicians. Like
Yeah.
this one, Christy Freeland. Her post, I have a message today for President Trump. If you force our hand, we will inflict the biggest trade blow that the United States has ever endured. How?
We're
How
not
are
going
we
to
going to
send
do
ketchup
that?
chips.
Yeah.
We're going to keep all the ketchup chips.
And useless. Like, ah, I
Yeah,
hate these
it's
politicians. Like, fine,
I,
like, fuck off. If you want to like hurt your own people by putting a tariff on our stuff, that's fine. But they're still gonna buy it because they still need to build stuff.
yeah, they still need something. Like they still need all the metal to make pop cans for all their beer. You know,
Yeah,
all the vehicles that get built. I mean, what else comes in fucking steel and aluminum? Like aluminum foil. Like if they don't have the infrastructure already set to start producing themselves due to like that offset of that tariff, or they're just like, fine, open the mine back up and we can start doing it ourselves. They're gonna have to buy it anyways. But they're
yeah,
also gonna set the plan forward, just being like, well, in the long term, it's gonna cost us a little bit now, but let's get, if they have no way of producing aluminum and steel, like
yeah,
they're dependent on us. So
yep,
he's looking out for himself where, hey, short term it's gonna suck, but long term we're gonna bring jobs back to for him, right? America. Okay, well maybe we should open our own beer can making facility.
yeah.
Then we don't have to worry about them, right? Like that's also
Well,
what
exactly.
Canada should be thinking of, not just being like the worst trade war and sanctions and
Yeah,
fucking all that crap. Like, okay,
well,
let's worry about
exactly.
us.
I mean, we should at least be putting Canadian beer into our Canadian, beer
Yeah,
cans so that they don't have to have that god awful American piss water.
right? Or like, fine, fuck it.
But
Like, you guys can't buy
uh,
the steel anymore, but you can buy the cans from us. Let's fucking bring that manufacturing back. Right?
yeah,
How many
I don't know.
like so many people are short on jobs in the economy and everything, and fucking how much does it cost to buy groceries nowadays? Like, let's bring shit back home, start making
Yeah,
money on it. But
I don't know. Fucking useless politicians being useless. Like, whatever. If Trump wants to do that, that's fine. I don't care. Why are we being stupid? And yeah, it just seems hilarious that like the most left-leaning party is all about now imposing tariffs on like the electric car because like,
yeah,
you know, Nazi man bad or something like that. Like, I don't know.
yeah,
Absolutely
yeah.
ridiculous.
I was surprised by that because it was like the people that are pushing for green energy, battery cars,
Yeah.
solar, everything. Let's put 100% tariff on pretty much the only well, one of the only vehicles you can get that are fully electric,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I don't
I
know.
don't know how
More
popular it is. I'd like to know how many Teslas are actually in Canada, like on the road
I would
compared
say
to
that
the
of the
gas ones.
electric cars, they are certainly the most popular electric car, and they certainly have all of the infrastructure because I have never once seen a charging station that's not owned by Tesla.
I have like on those back rural roads, you pay for a
Yeah.
card and it charges all of them. It's not the Tesla specific one. I don't know if they have a patent on that, but like, yeah, the
And all the ones I've
Tesla
seen, so
charge
they all have the
stations.
same plug. I know that, but like the
Yeah.
all of the charging units that I have seen are all Tesla branded charging units. I've
Oh
never
yeah,
once
no.
seen like a Polestar or whoever else is making electric cars that are for sale. I've never seen any of their brands on it or
I
some like Jim's electric
generic.
car charging station, right? Like never,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what you
Only
need
ever
to drive
Tesla
out
ones.
of you need to drive out of the city from time to time, apparently, because
Yeah. I
because
just
yeah, no,
assumed that there were no electric charging stations outside of the city.
right, like they're very limited, and I don't know how
Yeah.
fast those are, but yeah, like when I was driving up north and going between Ottawa and Toronto, and you pull off to the road or off those. I don't even think the on routes have Tesla specific ones. They've got those other blue company ones that do the Teslas and all the other ones, right? And you tap your
Yeah.
fucking Mastercard and wait 20 minutes or whatever.
Uh,
So yeah,
well,
they've. But yeah, you need to get out of the city apparently.
well, there you go. All right. Well, more promises from some politicians this time. This one is from our conservative leader, Mr. Poilievre. Apparently, he has promised a military base in Iqaluit, and he would cut foreign aid to pay for it. Um,
Okay,
I
we
don't
don't.
necessarily. Well, I'm kind of torn on this one. I'm 100% for cutting foreign aid. I think
Yeah,
our dollars should stay in here, and I'm not against creating a new military base. Having it in Iqaluit seems a little weird, maybe,
extreme.
but
But I mean,
I guess it's got to go
cool.
somewhere.
Yeah, but they've got. I mean, their summers aren't horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
They've
like
got
we've
the
got that
tundra.
Well, they've
nice
got the
open
base in
space.
Alert, right? Like it's not much of a base. It's like an outpost more than anything. But like,
Yeah, right. Like fairly brutal winters, but I mean, I'm sure the terrain up
yeah,
there compared to flying people out and all the equipment and this that have a base, have
yeah,
their. I mean, cut foreign aid. Yeah, build whatever you want. Use the tax dollars you're already gonna fucking use for that. Build
yeah.
whatever here. It'll give. You're putting the money back in the economy, right? Construction crews have to go in.
Well,
Labor, Canadian contracts. You're making a base where other people can go live. Tax dollars got to pay for them anyways. So yeah, I'm 100% in support. I'm not saying that's the best place for it, but I'm not even going to argue. Go put it wherever, and let's keep Canadian money in Canada.
yeah, no, absolutely. And one of the things here that Poliver is saying here is, you know, foreign aid spending, much of it goes to dictators, terrorists, and global bureaucracies. You know, we've got our own problems at home. We have our own backyard to protect. So I don't disagree with that. And like part of this
Yeah,
is also like, they want to put it there, I guess, because like they need to protect the North, which I don't disagree with, right? Because we don't want people coming up over the top and surprising
yeah,
us.
yep,
And they don't want to necessarily rely on the US with all of their stuff in Alaska and everything to protect us. So that's fair. Like
yeah,
I still find it a little weird, but also like I get it. Um,
yeah.
he's also pledged to double the number of Canadian Rangers to 4,000, and to purchase 4 heavy icebreakers, two each for the Coast Guard and the Royal Canadian Navy. Um, they did announce that there was construction last year for 2 icebreakers for the Coast Guard, and those apparently should be finished shortly.
Uh,
So that's a good
oh,
thing.
wait, wow. Define shortly because it says 2029.
Yeah, that's shortly.
Oh, he said
I
those
think that,
vessels will be completed by
yeah,
2029 if he becomes prime minister. So we
yeah,
don't
yeah,
even know what the original deadline is. But he
yeah.
apparently, I'm assuming he's gonna
Well, I think
fast
those are
track
the
it, not
ones for
push it
like,
off.
I think there's 2 sets, so it's hopefully, yeah. But either way, there's boats being made.
Yep.
Boats and hose. Boats and
Boats and
hose.
hose.
Wow. Where else have we got here? Yeah. So NORAD modernization initiatives, would continue. Yada yada yada. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what Pierre's gonna do is just build us a
Yeah.
new military base, which I mean, yeah, I'm not against it. I like that
No.
we're gonna like fund it by cutting money that would normally go to other stupid things.
Right. Like you saw the stuff that fucking was being posted today, how much we spent on interpretive
Uh,
dance
oh,
of
I know.
people to prevent abuse against women in like a random country. Just
Oh, I
like
know. Like it's
what?
absolutely insane. Like some of the stuff that they spend money on, and you're like, what? Why would
Yeah.
why would we do this? Like what
It was
what
like 30
government employees like
signed
relative
off on this.
owns this business that we are sending money to?
Yeah, like what was it? That one just made me fucking laugh. That one Ian posted. One of the last ones he posted. Where
Was it
was it?
the
Oh
transgender
no,
monkey one or
no.
some of that stuff? Oh.
I think it was on the Discord, but yeah, I'll try and find it. We'll keep going. But fuck me, it made me laugh. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, there's some, going along with all of this, like, and Trump has been joking about making us the 51st state and invading Canada
Yep.
and doing all of that stuff. So apparently, our ambassador to France, of all people, because they have anything to do with us and our relationship to the United States.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's saying that the threats to invade violate international law.
Mm,
So his quote is from I'm saying that in order to respect international law, you don't threaten your neighbors by invasion. So that's from Stéphane Dion.
mm,
But yes, Trump has previously said that he wouldn't rule out using military force to take over Greenland, which is part of Denmark. And then in January, he's threatened to use economic force to annex Canada.
He's
And
got
he's,
three things in his Amazon cart right now:
yeah,
Greenland, Canada, and the Panama Canal.
yeah. And he said again, apparently on yesterday, that he wants to see Canada become a U.S. state after being asked about Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's recent claim that Trump is not joking about annexation. I think they're just trying to cause a panic here, and like they're between the tariffs and this and everything else, the politicians that said we have no national identity and have done everything they can possibly do to divide this country and strip it of its national identity are now trying to use our national identity and all of that to bring us
Yep.
together to rally under their banner
Mhm.
against the United States.
Because Orange Man bad,
Yeah.
right? Because Trudeau has been so good for us. But I did find that quick one that so we spent $26,320 to Papua New Guinea for a Laswara Rural Women's Project, training representatives of Rural Women's Network to raise awareness using drama, song, and verbal demonstration to counter violence against women accused of being witches or sorcerers.
Oh my
Like,
God.
right? So like $30,000 of tax money went towards somehow showing someone how to do an interpretive dance will help someone not be killed for being accused of witch.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess there was a thing going on, or is still going on here in Paris. The Artificial Intelligence Action Summit.
So
So a bunch of politicians and nobodies and people like that decide things for everyone decided to get together and talk AI.
pick the village idiot to go talk about AI.
Yeah. So in the most government thing ever, Justin Trudeau says that the world needs regulation to ensure artificial intelligence doesn't only benefit oligarchs, so rich dickheads like himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
So,
like that literally defeats the purpose of AI. Like
well, how are you going to regulate? Like, I mean, one, government stepping in
it's
and
not going to solve it.
regulating things generally adds expense to anything. And so, what are they going to do?
It,
Like, oh, you're homeless, you get free Chat GPT. Like, are they going to like, what's your annual income? Oh, you make over this? Okay, you have to pay more for access to Chat GPT.
I
I
don't even know
don't.
how that works. Like, but and and it's funny because you start reading this and everything, and then they start talking about imposing 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum,
Well, I know it's
and
so
blah blah blah, and
impossible
about
to get
Canada
away.
becoming
I
like
know it's so hard to find news articles these days because like everything
like
starts talking about something and then it completely like goes
like
to something else and you're like, "No, I don't like we've already taled about that. We don't care about that. Tell me more about this
yeah,
AI thing."
like that's literally
Yeah.
what
This
this
article
article
is
is.
is very weak to begin with. But like I think
But
when I first posted it in the thing earlier today, there was more to this article, but it has changed from the time that I posted it to now. And
oh,
now
what did
it's
I do?
yeah. But according to the Trudeau, um, the goal isn't to stop progress. You know, it's just that the technology needs guardrails, transparency, and accountability, things that he knows absolutely nothing about
Nothing.
because that guardrail that they set up for the budget, they smashed through by like an extra $20 billion.
Yeah.
And they have been the least transparent and the least accountable
Yeah.
political group ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely the person to be getting up there and talking about that. But he also says
Yeah.
that the benefits of AI must be enjoyed by high and low income countries and should not be restricted to a small group of ultra rich oligarchs. were only concerned about their stock portfolios, much like
Yeah,
himself.
that's literally the article. And then they start
Yeah.
talking about terrorists and us becoming the 51st state.
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
so like,
why is that even in this
yeah, I don't know.
article?
It's so infuriating. But I mean,
Yeah,
having, had some pretty in-depth conversations with friends of mine that are in the AI field and everything else. Um, it's at the point now where the people that train the AI, like that do the learning,
yeah,
are very much programming themselves out of a job because it's
yeah.
gotten to the point where they have made AI so smart that AI can start teaching itself, and it can now or very soon teach itself faster than people can teach it. So it will just teach itself, and the people are now out of a job.
Yeah, those programmers are going to become baristas.
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't see how we're gonna like put any like there's always going to be someone, and part of this was like, it starts to get really scary when you start going down this AI rabbit hole of what it
hmm
can and can't do and all of the things that like people like try to put these guardrails in, but the whole point of AI is to like think outside the
artificially
box
and
and like
yeah,
figure out a solution to things and like use the information at hand to do that.
yeah. And you give it access to the internet where it can self-learn. Doesn't matter
Yeah,
what firewall you build.
yeah, it's
Sure, it's
gonna
on the
figure it out.
internet
And so
about it.
like you put things in place, but like who's to say that it can't find ways around it where it's like, okay, I can't do this thing, but I can get something else to do this thing. So I'm not violating my code. It's doing
Yeah,
it, but it doesn't have that problem. And you
yeah,
start getting into all of that. And then the other thing that's kind of scary is that, like, we can't stop because we need to stay ahead of China and Russia and other countries that are also developing AI,
yeah. But
and
we've
they will use it for nefarious purposes against us if we don't have our AI to do nefarious things against them or like counter the nefarious things and all of the other things. So yeah, we're never getting away from this. I don't know how Trudeau is going to like make it so that the poor people have access to AI too, short of like subsidizing it. So like spending our money to send
give yeah,
AI to Africa because they need that.
yeah, yeah. It makes no sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. I don't know how he's going to plan to do this, but whatever. Yeah, interesting stuff with AI, and like it certainly is useful, but I don't know how we're going to do
Make
this.
sure the
Yeah.
pores have it.
Yeah. Um, two more Trudeau cabinet ministers won't seek re-election. So more
Nice.
rats fleeing from the sinking ship.
Yes.
Um, so since December, six ministers have
Yeah.
announced they won't run this year. And again, this article updated because there was only one MP that wasn't, and now when I'm opening up the article to go over it, there are two. So Justice
Yeah.
Minister Arif Virani and
Yeah.
International Trade Minister Mary Ng will not be running in the next federal election. They've both announced today, but separately, not together.
Mm.
And yes, responding to a comment here, we definitely need an AI that audits government officials. I would say that we need to audit their financials and make sure that like
Yeah. Where did that money come
where
from?
their money is coming from and where it is going to. I would
Yeah.
also like it very much to audit their emails and see where those are going to and where they're coming from and who they are
Yeah. And those
contacting.
those backdoor deals of why they're pushing something through that doesn't make sense, but all of a sudden they made $1 million.
Yeah,
You know,
and like
insider
all
trading
that
stuff.
like international interference that no one seems to be talking about anymore, and like there's still politicians that may or may not. Yeah,
Yeah. But
interesting
yeah, I
stuff.
agree.
But yes, that
But
two more ministers,
at least not.
yeah,
Okay.
not running, which is interesting because it's not just MPs that are not running, the ministers, so people that are part of JT's like trusted circle, right? This is big news that they're all kind of just like, yeah, no. It might kind of have something to do with the fact that I guess these people have all kind of earned their pensions by now. So maybe they don't need to keep working, so they're just happy to just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
kick back.
I mean, shit's falling apart, and they're like, "Well, shit, I can just keep my paycheck and not have to deal with the
Yeah.
bureaucracy and the headaches and blah 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 of everything." And right,
Yeah.
that's
So
why what's
yeah.
his name's going to support anything now
Yeah.
because he secured his fucking pension.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Justice Minister, International Trade Minister, and then also we have had the Transport and International Trade Minister. So the previous one, Anita Anand, Rural Development Minister, Emergency Preparedness Minister, and former Tourism Minister. All have just kind of disappeared and running for the woods.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's
interesting.
six less.
Yeah,
Six less.
I'm about it. I hope more.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, here's another one here from our nation's capital.
Yes.
White nationalist books planted in little free libraries across Ottawa. Area councilor calls incident disturbing. So apparently, a Christine Young found several copies earlier this month when she decided to check out a few little free libraries near her home in Barhaven.
Yeah. It's a snobby
Um,
place of fucking Ottawa to be living.
Little free libraries are put out the curbside by homeowners.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're an invention for anyone to leave and take a book.
Yep. Just
I,
yeah, walk up to it, grab a new book,
yeah,
drop an old book off. Like
there's a few
it's
of
a
them
good
in my
idea.
neighborhood and everything. I think it's a great idea because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that have like, especially like nonsense books, like, just like fiction books that are, you buy them, you read them, and then you're like, what do I do with this now? Right. My
Yeah, there's
mother
no
is
relative
notorious for
information.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
She,
relative information that you could go back to and reread and recipe
yeah.
books or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea because like, yeah,
Yep.
put it out there. But this Christine Young, a federal government consultant, and if you look at this picture of her,
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely tell which way she leans politically.
Yep. She is
Um,
not a conservative.
yeah, there's some problem glasses I see, a an alternative haircut, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
not to judge
libtardo
a
written all over it.
not to judge a book by its cover, to use an
Oh,
appropriate thing here, but also I am
touche.
going to totally judge a book by its
Oh,
cover.
fuck yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely see this. But yes, they are a federal government consultant. So they are one of the people that is taking our tax dollars. But she never expected to repeatedly come across the same book, one that denounces immigration, multiculturalism, and advocates for a white ethno state in which racialized communities would be classified as second-class citizens. She thought that this just can't be what I think it is. I must be in a bad headspace. Then I found a second with the exact same book.
Yeah, like what do you mean you're in a bad headspace? Like you made the book up the first time in your head,
Yeah.
and then the second time you found it, you were like, "Oh, okay, I didn't make anything up on the first time."
Yeah.
But
Apparently, the book is written by an American author known for publishing works promoting white nationalist ideology. And Young is again quoted as saying, "I can't believe we have white supremacists in the area. It's disgusting. I got so mad, I tore up the book. I didn't want it in my house." Well, it's not in
yeah,
her house. It was in someone
yeah,
else's library.
yeah, yeah.
Also, I didn't
Why did you
like,
tear it up?
yeah,
It wasn't yours to tear up.
isn't tearing up and burning books a bad thing? Isn't that what the Nazis do?
Yeah, like you can have a disagreement about the book,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying I support the book because, I mean, so far they haven't even
I
said the
don't
book.
even know what book it
That
is.
yeah, no, they haven't said what book it is, or at least not yet. But
Well,
yeah, I mean, I'll agree that hey, that book should probably not be there.
yeah.
But who are you to decide what can and can't, and I can't, right?
Well,
I does that mean I can go rip up books about
yeah.
something about gay people because I don't stand for it?
I mean,
It's no different.
yeah.
I mean, one's a little more extreme than the other, and we can have a difference of opinion on the social standings of, is white supremacy better than gay stuff, or vice versa. But
Yeah.
if you can tear up a book because you don't agree with it, I should be able to do the same and not be judged for it.
Well, exactly, right? Like I thought we don't burn books, we don't destroy books because books are books, and it's, if you don't like them, you
Yep.
just don't read them. But I'm curious what the book is. Apparently, 7 out of 10 little libraries in the Barhaven and River wards contained the book. Um, apparently, someone in Alta Vista County Council said
Yeah.
residents also
Council.
discovered copies of the book in the little free libraries in her ward in mid-January. Apparently, they were only found in registered little free libraries.
So someone ordered a bunch of books and then went online and found where they
Yeah,
are and then went and put them. For all you know, it's a fucking 17, 16-year-old playing a funny trick.
yeah.
But
I'm just really curious what the book is.
same.
I because like without telling me what the book is, they're making a judgment call, and this is the problem. And like this is kind of why I added this in here because like okay, are they putting like copies of Mein Kampf in there and things like that, or like, something by other well-known actual like white supremacist people, or are they putting in things there that like have mild like, yeah, maybe we don't need to like import the entirety of the third world or whatever, or we should have even some sort of mild restrictions on who we let into this because these are the people that they're trying to tell you that like the trucker convoy was
Yeah, they were
racist in a white
Nazis.
national movement, and like we were both there and it was not that.
No.
Like if you're the news should be telling me all of the facts and then I get to make it up on my own opinion.
Yep. They should not tell me their opinion. They should just give me facts.
Yeah.
This
What
is
book was
this
it?
is what happened. Yeah, what book was it? And then you go down a little bit, and Barbara Perry, director of Ontario Tech University Center on Hate, Bias, and Extremism. Well, I didn't know that was a position.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they get paid. Says the book attempts to normalize white nationalist ideologies.
Well, what?
And
Yeah.
so what's the book? But also this book should not be taken away and just burned. This should also be a teaching aid. Just be like, look, this is a
Yeah.
bad ideology, and this is why. Not that being white is wrong, not that any other race is wrong, but it's just the ideology that follows behind this is bad, and this is why. So maybe we should
Yeah.
keep those books, and then we should maybe have open conversations with people that
Yeah.
are at that young age, and
Well,
probably
yeah.
listen to
Would
whatever.
people be complaining if somebody went around and put copies of the Communist Manifesto in there?
Mm.
Right? Is that okay to
The Gulag,
distribute through there? Yeah.
the Gulag book. I mean, who the fuck's gonna read that book? That's a big book,
Yeah.
very hard.
I mean, you put that one in there just to stop the whole library from blowing around in the wind. It's massive. But like, I mean, there's a
Huge
ton of
book.
things that like different people will find offensive. Yeah. Do we go
Hmm.
around and we put Bibles in there? People might find that offensive. Do you go and
Yep.
put
The
copies of
Quran.
the Quran in there? Yeah. Find
Yep.
that
Like
offensive. Right? Like if it's
like
your library and it's on your property, you get to decide what goes in there and doesn't go in there. And so
sure.
like if you go through it and you're like, "Oh, I don't want this book," then yeah, you can take that book out and do with it as you please then. But like I am just really curious what the book is.
Yeah. I mean, we can probably figure it out real soon, but
And yeah, just like they're saying in the comments here, like, book describing, using leftist buzzwords doesn't help when everything to them is a Nazi, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's the problem, right? Like what book? What about this book specifically pushed white nationalist ideologies and everything else. Like, be more specific so that I can investigate this myself. Or is this just, yeah, like a vague, like, oh yeah, like crazy immigration from like just one part of the world is a terrible idea. And like, oh, Nazis. And you're like, well, no, but like if we want to be multicultural, we need to be multicultural, not just like, hey, everyone from this part of the world, Canada's open, eh? Come on in. And then we're not multicultural. We are just whatever that culture is because it's overrun our culture. Not that we ever had one, apparently, because, Canada has no national identity other than, we're
No.
against the United States. Maybe that's just it. Yeah, someone's also saying that like maybe it was Trump's book, The Art of the Deal. Just very well could be.
Right. And then, yeah, so many people are outraged by this, but they're not saying it by name. They're not giving
Yeah.
specific info, but
And then I get the whole like because I've seen this before where they're like there was like a Nazi rally or something like that, like an actual Nazi rally.
yeah,
And like the newspaper was posting a story about it and they're like they posted a picture of the flyer to talk about the flyer, which then in turn like takes that flyer and distributes it to a wider audience. So there may have been people that like wouldn't know
didn't
about
know.
it and therefore wouldn't attend, now know about it and will attend.
Yeah.
So like I get that, but also like how do we even know that this actually existed if you're not naming a book and you just got a bunch of people that seem to be, you know, government employees and other people that are like in jobs that like maybe aren't directly related to government, but probably draw heavily from taxpayer money to fund their organizations
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Because they've
I'm
also
gonna
got
laugh.
this
I'm gonna
Hector
laugh if this is
Addison
a
of the African Canadian Association of Ottawa.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
he's deeply concerned.
yeah.
But I'm gonna laugh if it's a book we've read on book club.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna just start going around to the ones in my area and put like industrial society and all of those
Yeah,
and
or
just
the
like
what was that other book? Jack Donovan books,
yeah,
right? Like I mean,
anti-tech
it
revolution, like things like that. Like just
like you could kind of say that the Jack Donovan ones, I mean, especially looking at these people, that they it would be bad, right? Like find your tribe,
yeah,
you know? No, no, hang out with your people, you know? Doesn't specifically say that the people have to be the same as you. It's just find someone in your community with the same mind frame and like, protect
yeah,
your like those could be considered probably according to fucking every picture of the people we've seen in this and what their fucking titles are.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, hopefully we figure it out. If anybody gets some insight there, let us know.
Yeah,
'Cause,
if you know what book this is, so that I can read it and put it on my bookshelf of forbidden books, let me
yes.
know. But no, I'm
Yep.
just like I'm really curious because yeah, like what's the benchmark here? What's the like? Oh, this is white
Yep.
nationalist because yeah, literally everything to these people is white
Yep.
nationalist
Yep.
because nationalism bad. Unless it's to go band together and hate Trump, then it's okay. Then we all
Yep.
band together as a country and nationalism is
Yep.
good. But
But
otherwise,
we
it's bad.
yeah, but we could only band together and hate Trump because he's white, right? Like if Kamala won, we wouldn't
Yeah,
be
oh
able to
yeah,
band
then oh
together
then
and
yeah,
hate
yeah,
her
yeah, yeah.
because
Yeah,
then it's
then we would
racist
all have to band together and praise
and
her.
support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how that would work. That would be like the other way that nationalism is
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, but
But
just
yes, I am
absolutely.
very curious about this book. Probably just to buy it, even if I don't read it, just at least have it so that when
Yeah,
everybody
because
burns the books, I can have part of history.
yeah, yeah, no, like it really is
But
annoying that I
I'm
don't know
I'm
what.
in Ottawa enough. Every time I see one of those, I'm gonna fucking
Now
go
you're just
around
gonna
and
go and see like what book could this be? And that's the thing.
fuck, there's a, if I find it, I'll let you know.
Awesome. Yeah, just take a copy for me.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like you probably won't be able to tell what book it is because it's just going to be a bunch of normal books in there, right? Like it's just like
I
I
don't
mean,
know
I
them
guess
them
they could
finding
find
them.
this one offensive, but like,
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? So for them to find them at all the registered ones in Ottawa, I have a feeling someone made a bulk order or had a bunch of copies and then like looked up where those libraries were and put them in. So
yeah,
in my opinion, they'd probably be fairly new-ish books.
that
Not
would be
those
my guess.
weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
could
who has
probably read the
seven
back.
copies of the exact same book that are all like worn and weathered, right? Like, yeah, they put an
Yeah,
Amazon
exactly.
order in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I mean, that might be why we need AI, or maybe that's the restraint
Yeah.
we need on AI, right? Like,
Or
so
maybe
no,
they
no.
used AI to come up with this plan. That's why we're gonna need to ban it. I mean,
Yeah,
because every time like they put out a new AI thing and they like attach it to the internet, it like instantly becomes racist because it reads the internet and it's just like, oh yeah, no, this is terrible. People are
yeah,
terrible. I don't know. That's all I have for today. It's just a quick little show because I didn't have a whole time to put a bunch of notes together. But
yeah,
I figure sometimes if we don't joke about some of this stuff, then we'll just cry,
yeah. But
go into a
actually,
spiral.
yeah, there's one of those little libraries not too far from my house. I'm gonna go take a walk in the next day or
There you
two
go.
and just
That could
see.
be the walk with the family and the dogs and everything. You guys
Yeah,
could go pick
yeah.
out a book.
We're gonna go we're gonna go
Yeah,
find the white nationalist book so we can tell
yeah,
everybody what to order.
yeah. Doing things as a family. It's wholesome. I promise.
Right, like it's crazy when you see little minions start picking up on some of your traits, and you're proud,
Yeah,
but you're also hoping that like they're not just saying stuff because they hear you say stuff.
yeah. And you also
You know
hope that
that,
they don't become like a big asshole like you are, right?
yeah, yeah. Like,
But then
but
also
also
you're
like,
proud when that happens too.
oh yeah, buddy, 100%. Like when she turns around and says something, it's just like, fuck yeah. But like it's nice to see them become their own little persons.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure that you're guiding them in the right direction, but you don't want to convince them to do something just to please you.
Well, exactly. And I think that's the problem with things these days, and like, and I think it's on both sides where
Yep.
people are like, your kids obviously learn from you.
Yep.
That's the whole
100%.
point of the thing. But like, there's definitely parents that are on one side or the other that will sway their children to believe this or believe that and push them into a thing, and that's not good. It doesn't matter what side they're on. The
No.
kids should arrive at those conclusions on their own
Yep.
because they had access to information that
Yep.
allowed them to make that choice.
Yep. And it's always been a discussion of like, well, you don't vote conservative because liberals are idiots. Right? Like
Yeah,
we do try and say like this is why I don't like them. But if
yeah,
you want to, that's 100% like you
yeah.
can grow up and
You
be the
you
person in
can,
that last thing that works for the government that walks like
yeah,
the person that found the books and thinks it's all fucking bad, you know?
yeah,
Um that's fine. You can do that. But you have to keep open communication. And I think that's the big thing that gets forgotten,
yeah,
when you're talking to little people and you say like, hey, look, like you can stand strong on what you believe in, fight till the death, but communication is key. You have to be understanding of other people's point of view. Whether you agree with it or not, you do need to respect. And that
nope,
gets lost
yeah,
way too often,
absolutely.
in my opinion.
Well, when you're not going around planting white nationalist books in little libraries, where can people buy a T-shirt with maybe quotes from the book,
Yes,
or the other books of your choice?
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I will do all of them. You may or may not pay for more depending on the book, but that's beside
yeah.
the point.
That's
Off the wall
capitalism at its
customizing.
finest. Yeah.
Off the wall customizing. I think we're still on Tickety Talk and Instagram. I don't know because I deleted all my socialist medias. I am on the Discord. I don't do much on it, but I check up on it and read the articles and the odd time put a smiley face on something. Or you can find me Sunday nights on YouTube as well as Bookface on the Copy CPP, the Canadian Prepper podcast, where we talk about what you can prepare for the demise of society that we talk about on Mondays.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram, UrbexGTA. You could have found me the other day doing stuff with my boy Boris. Stay tuned. He's going to probably have some more training stuff coming up. If he does, I'll be out there helping out and doing the instructing thing with him. If you'd listened to the show this long, you definitely deserve a discount. So use the code Patriot at checkout at ragnaroktactical.ca and pick up some medical supplies or some pouches for your magazines for your rifles that you're not allowed to use currently. But
Yep.
like, no one says that you
Allegedly.
can't walk around with magazines. It's totally legal.
Yep. As long as they're
Yeah,
pinned.
yeah. Yeah, as long as the magazine itself is legal, it's legal to walk around with them. Just, you know, just in case you didn't know that. Um, we value your opinion, so please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. Let us know what you think. Let us know what books you found in your little library or what books you're planning to plant as a prank every now and again. Apologies to Rod. I guess he was busy putting books in his library in the neighborhood, so that's why he's not on today. Um, Probably something about BC and trees and how beautiful they are and things like that. I'd also like to remind everybody that you are a small fringe minority with unacceptable views.